Excuse me, sir.
Are you okay? Right. Now, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Sorry. Uh, yeah, elasticity mean it measures the responsiveness of quantity demand. It measures responsiveness of dependent variable to change independent variable. When it comes to price elasticity of demand, Lamai, it measures what? The responsiveness of quantity demanded. Responsiveness of quantity demanded to change in price of the product, Lamai, EX. Okay. Then what is the original equation for calculating price elasticity of demand, Lamai? Alana, PD equals
Percentage change in quantity demand or
percentage change in price. Give me 1 minute, Lamai. Sorry. Right. We can calculate price elasticity of demand using this equation, Lamai. PD equals, yes, as Alana said, percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. This is the original equation for calculating price elasticity of demand, Lamai. Right? Then, after this equation, we derived, right? We have derived different equation, Lamai, right? Different equation for calculating point price elasticity of demand, Lamai. What is that? PD equals, this is the same equation. I mean, this is the most advanced part, right? Advanced equation of first one, right? What is the equation, Lamai? PD equals delta QD over delta P into P over QD, Lamai, right? This is the equation for calculating point price elasticity of demand. Point price elasticity of demand means, Lamai, PD at particular point given. Arc price elasticity of demand mean PD for range, right? Between 2 points or between two prices. Okay. This equation equals my PD equals, yes, delta QD over delta P into, here we need to take two prices, Lamai, right? P1 plus P2 over Q1 plus, okay, the Lamai, right? This is what we discussed last day, Lamai. Then look at page number 10. To complete this test your knowledge, I'm not going to complete now. Right. Yes, price elasticity of demand and slope of the demand curve, Lamai. Price elasticity of demand and slope of the demand curve. Listen to me carefully. Right. What is the equation for calculating price elasticity of demand? The point one, Lamai. PED equals delta QD over delta P into P over QD. Okay, the lamai. Right. This equation, yes, has mainly two parts, lamai. First one is this part, and second one is this part. This equation contains mainly two parts, lamai. First one, delta QD over delta P part. Second one, P over QD part. Right? You're very familiar with this, lamai. What is this? Delta QD over delta P mean, Sanuli?
Slope.
Slope of the demand curve, lamai. So instead of delta QD over delta P, we can substitute, lamai, B. B means slope of the demand curve, lamai. B into P over QD. So instead of change in quantity demand and change in price, you can substitute value of slope of the demand curve straight away instead of delta QD over delta P. Sometimes, lamai, you are not given delta QD and delta P separately. Did you get the point? So, and you are given B. If you are given value of B, you can directly substitute that value instead of press part. Clear or not? Right? Okay. Sanuli, Kalana, are you okay?
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Dipna?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Dharma. Can you write this down? Price elasticity of demand and slope of the demand curve. PD equals delta QD over delta P into P over QD. Instead of press part of this equation, we can substitute B. B mean slope of the demand curve. Slope of the demand curve. Slope. This is slope of the demand curve. Slope of the demand curve. Normally, lamai, this value is minus, right? P value, the slope of the demand curve is minus because of this negative relationship. Okay, the lamai. Right. Shall we move on? Right. Next point. Lamai, are you done? Kalana, Dipna?
Yes, sir.
Answer.
Let's do example number 1. Suppose the demand equation of a particular good is 200 minus 4p. Now, you are given the demand equation, lamai. Not a table including price and quantity demand. Demand equation. Okay, the lamai. This is demand equation. This is demand equation. Now you are given demand equation. When the value of, what is the value of coefficient of price elasticity of demand? It means lamai PED. Coefficient of price elasticity of demand means PED at prices. What are the prices, lamai? 10, 20 and 30. You need to calculate PED at these prices. At these points, it means you can use PED, the point price elasticity of demand, right? Okay. At price 10. At price 10. Write down the equation, lamai. How to calculate point price elasticity of demand? Write down the equation. PED equals, yes. PED equals, look at the board, lamai. I'll do it. Delta QD over delta P over P over QD. Lamai, here, delta QD over delta P into P over QD. Okay, the lamai. Here, look at the board, lamai. You are not given delta QD and delta P separately. But lamai, you have demand equation. Demand equation. What is this part, lamai? What is this? Slope. This is slope of the demand curve, lamai. So here, this is your demand equation. Can you tell me, lamai, how much the slope in this equation? How much slope of demand curve, demand equation? Sanuli, Kalana, slope?
-4.
-4. මෙන්න මේ part එකට තමයි slope කියන්නේ ළමයි. -4. This is the slope B of the demand curve. It means delta QD over delta P. Delta QD over delta P. Clear the lamai? So instead of delta QD over delta P, you can substitute how much lamai? -4. Okay, right. Then -4 equals, we are calculating price elasticity of demand at price 10. So price is 10 lamai. Here you need to substitute quantity demanded at price 10. Do you have quantity demanded at price 10 here? No, you have to calculate lamai. Use your equation. Okay, the lamai. Your QD equals how much lamai? 200 minus 4p, then 200 minus 4 into, I want you to calculate quantity demanded at price 10. How many units are being demanded at price 10? It's not given. You can use your equation, right? Yes. Then lamai 200 minus here 40. 200 minus 40 mean 160 units. So at price 10, consumers are demanding 160 units. Are you okay, lamai? Right? Everything is done based on your equation. Slope, then substitute this quantity demanded at given price. Okay, the lamai. Right. How much the value, lamai? 40, 160 means 0. Minus, huh? PD value is always minus. How much? Minus 0.25. 0.25. Alana, are you okay, lamai? Dipna, Sanuli?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Right. Dipna?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. I want you to calculate PED at price 20 and 30. Price 20 and 30. 0.25. Right. Calculate PED value at price 20 and 30, Lama. Okay, the Lama. Right. Second one, PED at price 20. Same equation, Lama. Right. Equation doesn't change. If you want to calculate price elasticity of demand at particular point or at particular price, this is the equation you need to use. PED equals delta QD over delta P into P over QD. Here, Lama, you don't have values for delta QD and delta P, but you are given the value of slope. You know the slope of the demand curve. The slope of the demand curve does not change point to point. Listen, the slope of the demand curve, the value of slope does not change point to point, right? Because straight line demand curve, lamai, straight line demand curve, at every point slope is equal. What about curves like this? Slope of the curve changes point to point. Okay, the lamai. If your curve is a straight line, if your demand curve is a straight line, PED equals at every point. Clear the lamai? Right. O level mathematics. Right. Okay, the lamai. Right. PED value here, how much lamai? Minus 4. 4, right? Yeah, minus 4. Into, now I am calculating price elasticity of demand at price 20. Okay, the lamai. Here you need to substitute quantity demanded at price 20, not at price 10. It's gone. Okay, the lamai. To calculate quantity demanded at price 20, use your equation, lamai. Right? QD equals how much, lamai? 200 minus 4p. 200 minus 4 into my price is 20 rupees. Okay. Then lamai 200 minus 80 means 120. Here lamai the corresponding quantity demanded is 100. Okay, the lamai. How much the value? 3 point. No. 80 divided by 120, right? 80 divided by 120 means 230.66, right? 67 minus 66. Isn't it? Tanuli Kadipna?
0.66.
66, yeah, 0.66 or 67. Minus, huh? Minus. Value is minus. PD value is minus. Okay, the lamai. Right. Calculate price elasticity of demand at price 30. I'll give you 2 minutes. One point five.
Done, sir.
Done. How much the value?
Minus 1.5.
Minus 1.5. Kalanadipna?
Yes, sir. Minus 1.5.
Minus 1.5. Right. Equation PD equals delta QD over delta P into P over QD. Delta QD, this is the slope of the demand curve. Slope does not change point to point. Slope is 4 into price. I'm calculating price elasticity of demand at price 30 divided by at price 30 quantity demanded should be, use the equation lamai, QD equals 200 minus OP. QD equals lamai 200 minus 4 into price is 30. Okay, the lamai 200 minus 120, answer is 80. Okay, the lamai. Substitute the value of 80, then answer would be minus 1.5. So that don't forget this minus sign, right? PD value is always minus. Oh, okay, the lamai, right? That's a topic. The difference between price elasticity of demand and slope of the demand curve. Okay, the lamai. Difference between price elasticity of demand. What does it measure, lamai? Price elasticity of demand. These two concepts are totally different, lamai. Price elasticity of demand, what does it measure? But the price elasticity of demand, what does it measure, lamai? Price elasticity of demand. Price elasticity of demand. It measures the responsiveness of what? Responsiveness of, yes, dependent. But here, what is the dependent variable? Price elasticity of demand measures the relationship between these two variables. So here, what is dependent? QD is the dependent. P is the independent. So you can say how to define price elasticity of demand. It measures the responsiveness of quantity demanded to change price of the product. Okay, the lamai. Right. Then equation lamai. What is the equation lamai for calculating PED? Right. What is the equation for calculating price elasticity? Lamai, what is the equation for calculating price elasticity of demand? Right. Okay. Listen. Price elasticity of demand is calculated look at the board lamai. Slope, sorry, first one, price elasticity of demand. Price elasticity of demand. What does it measure lamai? Price elasticity of demand. What does it measure lamai? PD measures the responsiveness of quantity demand to change in price. Equation lamai. PD equals delta QD over delta P into P over QD. This is equation lamai, right? So what does it measures lamai? Price elasticity of demand. What does it measure? The responsiveness. Yes, responsiveness of QD to a change in what? Price of the product. When it comes to slope of the demand curve, what does it mean, Lamai? Slope of the demand curve. Anyone? Sanuli, what is mean by slope of the demand curve? Yes, you know how to calculate it. Meaning, slope of demand curve. Slope. Okay, how to calculate the slope, Lamai? Anyone? How to calculate slope, Lamai? B equals slope of the demand curve equals delta QD over, tell me Lamai, delta P. Elasticity, delta QD over delta P into P over QD. මෙතන මොකක්ද ළමයි? B equals delta QD over delta. Only delta QD over delta P. Okay, no second part. Here there are two parts. Slope plus price and quantity demand at particular point. Here only one part. Okay, the lamai delta QD over delta P. Remember lamai, slope measures the ratio between change in quantity demanded and change in price. Clear the lamai. Slope means lamai, it shows the ratio between change in price, change in quantity demand QD, and what is other one, lamai? Change in price. In other words, lamai, simple idea, lamai, PD measures the percentage change in quantity demanded to change in percentage change in price. Remember, PED is always talking about percentage change. Here, it's not talking about percentage. This is called absolute change. Just change, not the percentage change. Here, percentage change. You get the point? This is the main difference between PED and slope of the demand curve, right? Many students believe that both concepts are same. No, look at the way of calculating lamai equation, totally different, and also meaning also different. But remember, when calculating price elasticity of demand, we use what? Slope of the demand curve. Clear the lamai? The equation of calculating PED consists of slope of the demand. That's another part. There is a relationship. It's okay, but totally different. Concepts are totally different. Clear or not? Right. Put a star marker right down, Lamai. First one, I think, the difference between price elasticity of demand and slope of the demand curve. Let's talk about slope, Lamai. First, write down. There's a dotted line. Write down the difference between price. I'm going to talk about slope, right? Write down slope write down it slope. It shows the ratio between what, Laman? Change in quantity demanded and change in price of the product, not just change in price of price of okay the lamai change in price of ඒ කියන්නේ ළමයි ඕකේ අපි මේ ගන්න අර norm ඒ කියන්නේ change එක විතරයි absolute change එක විතරයි percentage change එකක් slope එකේ කැල් කරන්නේ නැහැ මම කියන එක තේරෙනවද මේකේ totally it's talking about what absolute change හරිද this is called actually slope considered absolute change. Okay, how to calculate slope lamai? Write down the equation. B equals delta QD over delta. That's it. Okay, the lamai. Right. Next one. Okay, next one lamai. Let's talk about price elasticity of demand. Write down what is mean by price elasticity. What is a standard definition? Kalana, price elasticity of demand. Write down. It measures what lamai? It measures what? The responsive. Why responsiveness can lamai? Percentage change. Clear the lamai? Right. Measures the responsiveness. The responsiveness responsiveness of quantity demanded. I'll use Q. Quantity demanded. The responsiveness we remember talking about percentage change in quantity demanded. Okay, to what? Percentage change in quantity demand to a change in price of the product. Price of the product. මේකෙත් ළමයි change කියන්නේ percentage change. මෙතෙන්ට percentage change කරා මෙතෙන්ට normal change එකක් ගන්න යනවා. මේ price change එකක් percentage change. Clear? Okay. Here remember this price change also percentage. Change in price means also percentage. Remember. Right? Then write down the equation. Equation of calculating P. Write down PD equals lamai delta QD over delta P divided by over. අර මේ equation එකේ ළමයි අර percentage එක එහෙම පේන්නේ නැහැ directly. මතකද ඔයාලට මේ equation එක අපි derive කරේ අර normal equation එක. නේද ළමයි? PD equals percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. මේ equation එක තමයි මෙතන තියෙන්නේ ළමයි. හැබැයි මේක තියෙන්නේ අපිට පොඩ්ඩක් ඔව් මේක අර පොඩ්ඩක් advanced version එක. clear ටිකක් අර maths use කරලා පොඩ්ඩක් modify කරපු equation එකක් තමයි තියෙන්නේ. මේක බැලුවට අර මේ මං කියන කතාව එකපාරම මෙතන ඇත්තටම තියෙන percentage change එකක් තමයි. clear ඒ percentage change එක පොඩ්ඩක් අර modify කරලා තමයි තියෙන්නේ. නැත්නම් මේක තමයි පොඩ්ඩක් modify කරලා clear හරිද? right. That is the main difference between PED and slope of the demand. Clear the lamai? Sanuli, Deepna, clear the Kalana?
Clear,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. Then lamai, the relationship. Now you know the difference. Write down the relationship. Right. Huh? Okay, the lamai. Write down. Write down lamai. When calculating price elasticity of demand, when calculating price elasticity of demand, PED. Slope of the demand curve. The slope of the demand curve. Slope of the demand curve. Slope of the demand curve. Slope of the demand curve is used as one part of PED equation. PED equation. PED. PED. That's a simple the relationship. අපි අර PED calc කරනකොට අරයම use. Okay, right. Any doubt? Kalana, Deepna, Sanuli, ඔයාලට නෑ නේද?
No.
No, right. Next one, lamai. Next concept, arc price elasticity of demand. We discussed the difference between arc and point price elasticity. Arc mean lamai, it's given. Look at the definition, lamai. When the changes price and quantity demanded are highlight lamai considerably large. Mean if change in price, percentage change in price and percentage change in quantity demand are considerably large. It's mean lamai simple the benchmark lamai, if percentage change in quantity demand and percentage price are more than 10%. Okay, especially percentage change in price is more than 10%. Lamai we are price. Highlight the word lamai, considerably large, and go beyond a point. It is required to calculate arc price elasticity. අර point එක හරියන්නේ නැහැ. arc එක තමයි. The හරිද ළමයි? Right. Write down the equation. We have already learned this now. Write down PD equals delta QD over delta P into P1 plus P2 divided by Q1 plus. නේද ළමයි? ඇත්තටම මේ මෙතන තියෙන්නේ average එකක් ළමයි ඔය ගන්න. හරිද අර? ඒ කියන්නේ මේ මේ කියන්නේ මේ අර change එක ගොඩක් ලොකුයි නම් හරිද? මේ price දෙකේ average එකක් ගන්න. ඇත්තට මෙතන average එකක් තියෙන ළමයි P1 over plus P2 divided by 2. මෙතනත් average එකක් ගන්න Q1 plus Q2 divided by 2. මේ division part එක තියෙන. හැබැයි මෙතන අර cancel වෙලා යනවනේ ළමයි. අර ඒකයි original equation එකේ මේ මෙයාව පේන්නේ නැත්තේ. clearද ළමයි? ඇත්තට මේ arc price elasticity ළමයි we calculate PED using two prices and two quantity demanded. Okay ළමයි? And calculate the average value. Average value. Point price elasticity demand ළමයි. Only one point, one price. Here we are considering two prices and two quantity demanded as this change is large. Clear the ළමයි? Right. Let's do one question ළමයි. Clear the? Right. Look at the board. If you have any question, please. Example, points, there are 4 points, prices and quantity demand. Read the question lamai. Calculate the PED when moving from A to B lamai. Kaling kohomada question එක තිබුණේ lamai. No. Point price elasticity of demand. Calculate the PED at point A. මේකේ මොකක්ද තියෙන්නේ lamai? When moving from point A to B. නැත්නම් වගේ MCQ paper එකේ දෙනවා lamai. Between. Calculate price elasticity of demand between A and B. එහෙම නැත්නම් prices දෙකක් දෙනවා ළමයි. Calculate the price elasticity of demand between price 20 and 30. Point එකේ මොකක්ද දෙන්නේ ළමයි? එක price එකයි. Calculate price elasticity of demand at මෙතන between two prices. Why? Here ළමයි the change is relatively high. Clear the ළමයි? Right. Calculate PED when moving from A to B and B. Okay. මොකක්ද equation එක ළමයි? Equation PD equals delta QD over delta P into P1 plus P2 divided by Q1 plus. Okay, the lamai. Right. Now when moving from A to B, look at the board, I'll do it. When moving from A to B. Delta QD over delta P, you can calculate. Delta QD, how much lamai? Alana, delta QD?
250.
250, very good. Dipna, change in price?
20.
20. Delta QD 250. Sorry, 250. Delta QD 250 divided by change in price 20 into, now I am calculating price elasticity of demand between point A and B. Point A and B lamai. Point A and B means at these two prices at point and A and B. P1 mean 20 lamai plus second price how much? 40 divided by these two quantity demand. At these two quantity demanded together lamai. At price 20 demand is 1000. At price 40 demand is 7. Clear the lamai. Use your calculator and tell me the 0 point. Kalana, how much value am I? 250 divided by 20. What am I metana? 2 divided by 20. Okay, right, 250 divided by 22. එදක ඇඩ් කරන්න ළමයි 20 plus 40 60 නේද ළමයි over 1000 plus 750 1750 නේද 1 3 1 7 නේද ළමයි 3 over 7 means 0.4 ළමයි හරිද 0.42 yes in between these two prices lamai PD value is 0.42 kalana dipna sanuli what same answer did you
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
okay right okay lamai now lamai I want you to calculate price elasticity of demand moving from point B to C now there are 2 points lamai not like point price elasticity right here we are talking about considering 2 points between two prices same equation okay the lamai PD value equals arc price elasticity of demand equal delta QD over delta P. Delta QD over delta P. Right? Again, same value because slope doesn't change. Right? 250 divided by how much now? 20. Now, two prices are 60 and 80 plus 80 divided by at price 6 demand is 500 at price 80 demand is 200. දෙක add කරන්න. හරිද? 500 plus no sorry. From B to C නේද ළමයි? From B to point to this. I'm calculating PD from C to D. Sorry. Slope doesn't change. Slope does not change. ළමයි from B to C means this point to this point. හරිද? එතකොට එතන ඒ price එක ගන්න. 40 plus 60 නේ. B to C. Yes. Two prices are 40 plus 60. හරි නේද ළමයි? 40 plus 50 divided by 750 plus 500. 750 plus 500. නේද ළමයි? Right. PD equals 250 divided by 20. එතන 100 නේද ළමයි? Divided by 1100. බලන්න ළමයි answer එක මෙතන. 1 නේද ළමයි? Oh my 1 minus 1 right? Answer is number 1. If you want, you can calculate PD value from C to D. Okay, the ළමයි. කලන සනුලි ඉප්නා
Done, sir.
done. කලන
Done, sir.
right. Sanuli
Done, sir.
okay. You have a class at 8:30 Sanuli?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Okay ළමයි. Then arc price elasticity of demand is done. මේ arc එකෙන් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට MCQ එකක් තමයි. එයා කියන්නේ arc price ද point price ද කියලා. question එක නේද? ගොඩක් වෙලාවට arc price elasticity එක අහන්නේ ළමයි calculate the price elasticity on between price මොකක් හරි prices දෙකක් දෙනවා ළමයි. in 20 and 30 or 30. එහෙම නැත්නම් එයා කියනවා range. Calculate the price elasticity demand for this price range. Okay ද ළමයි? Range mean arc price elasticity. Calculate the price elasticity of demand at this price mean point price. Clear? Right. Okay. Next one ළමයි. Categories of this very important lesson. Categories of price elasticity. Right? Now you know how to calculate value of PED ළමයි. This value of PED is called coefficient of price elasticity. What? Coefficient. Example ළමයි when calculating PED between point B and C, point B and C, point B and C from point B to C, how much the PED value ළමයි? PED value is how much? 1 නේද ළමයි? Minus 1. This 1 is called coefficient ළමයි. What is the word? Coefficient. Right? The calculated value is called coefficient of PED. Based on this value that you have already calculated, we divide products into 5 categories now. How many categories? Right, 5 categories. Okay, the lamai. Remember, according to the value of coefficient of PED, this categorization is done based on PED value, coefficient value, right? There are 5 types of price elasticity of demand can be identified. Another categories, lamai. Might have learned. First one, lamai, write down. Perfectly inelastic demand. Perfectly inelastic demand. I'll use my whiteboard now. Look at the board, lamai. There are 5 categories. First one, write down. What is first category, lamai? Perfectly inelastic. Perfectly elastic. Lamai, this name is given. This type of elasticity is given if your calculated PED value. Okay, the lamai. If your coefficient value is 0, we give a separate name, category. Right? What is the category of PED, lamai? Perfectly inelastic. Right? It makes a sense, lamai. Right? I'll explain it later on. Remember, lamai, within bracket, write down perfectly inelastic demand means P value is 0. Exactly 0. In some cases, lamai, for some products, PED value becomes 0. Clear the lamai? Right. Second one. No perfectly part. Only inelastic. Write down second category. Inelastic demand. Inelastic demand. The inelastic demand means PED value is less than 1. 0.8, 0.5, 0.25. Forget the minus sign. Forget the minus sign. I told you last day, when making decisions in economics, lamai, we forget this minus sign. Clear the lamai? But in calculation, minus sign should be right. Okay, the lamai. Right. Inelastic demand, write down lamai. Inelastic demand, PED value is less than 1. Less than 1. Alana, are you okay, lamai?
Okay, sir.
Okay, third category. Third category is lamai unitary elastic. Unitary. Write down lamai. Unitary. Unitary demand. Or you can say unitary elastic. The unitary demand means ED value is exactly 1. Can you remember last calculation, Lama, when moving from B to C? PED value was 1. If PED value is 1, that product is called unitary demand product, Lama. Fourth, uh, fourth one. Fourth one, write down, Lama. Elastic demand. Elastic demand. Elastic mean lamai PD value is more than 1. 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 Last one lamai, write down. Fifth category is perfectly elastic. Perfectly elastic. Lamai, first one and fifth one are different. What is first one? Perfectly inelastic. Last one, elastic. පටල ගන්න එපා. ළමයි perfectly inelastic. ED value is how much? Infinite ළමයි. Infinite. Perfectly inelastic. Sorry, elastic means. Okay, the ළමයි. I'll show you how this infinite value comes. Then there are 5 categories ළමයි. What are the 5 categories? This categorization is based on PD value coefficient ළමයි. Clear the ළමයි? What are the 5 categories? First one, perfectly inelastic. Perfectly inelastic means PD value exactly 0. Second one, inelastic. PD value less than 1. Unitary. PD value 1. Elastic. PD value more than 1, like 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. Last one, perfectly elastic. PD value is clear බලන්න ළමයි. කලන, දීප්නා, සනුලි.
Clear, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Right. Now, Lamai, we're going to discuss these 5 categories one by one. Everyone is unique, Lamai. Every category is unique. Okay, the Lamai. All products in market can be divided into example, electricity, gas, petrol. These essential products belong to second category. What is second category? Inelastic. Right? If product has more substitutes, Lamai, more close substitutes, that product belongs. Clear the lamai. Right. Some products belong to perfectly inelastic. Clear? Some are unitary. Some are perfectly elastic. Clear the lamai. So the important point is lamai in business, right? When managing a business lamai, we have to make decisions based on PED value. Example, if you are selling inelastic demand product, you have to use some different production, especially price techniques. You get the point? Okay. It will be discussed later on. I think these 5 categories are okay. Right. There's a table, Lamai, page number 13. Page number 13. Page number 13. Look at the table, Lamai. Write down this outcome table. Write down product A. Product A. Look at the word product A. Percentage change in price. Percentage change in price. Assume it's 10%. Price increases by 10%. Price increases by 10%. This one. price percentage change in price 10%. Assume lamai, though price increases for product A, quantity demand doesn't change. The most important one. හරිද? දැන් සමහර products තියෙනවා ළමයි එයාගේ price එක increase සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ ළමයි? When price increases, what happens to quantity demand? Decreases. But there are some very special points ළමයි. Right? Special products. Though prices ළමයි, consumers are not able to reduce. ඒ මොන price එක charge කරත් demand එක එහෙමමයි ළමයි. නේද ළමයි? There are some products ළමයි. These are called perfectly inelastic. Clear that? Right. Then coefficient value. Can you calculate P value for product A? Here, Lama, you have to use percentage change equation, right? Here, percentage change quantity. So, how to calculate PED value? Percentage change in quantity demanded. 0% divided by 10%. How much the value? 0 divided by 10. Kalana.
0, sir.
0. Then lamai PED value of product A is 0. Then to which category does it belong lamai? PED value product A ke PED value එක 0 lamai. To which category does it belong? Alana, there are 5 categories. To which category does it belong? Does product A belong?
Perfect inelastic.
Perfectly inelastic. Write down lamai. Types of price elasticity. Write down the category. What is the category lamai? Write down perfectly inelastic. Perfectly elastic. Perfectly. Clear lamai. Second one. ඒ කියන්නේ ළමයි perfectly inelastic කියන්නේ මේ product එකට substitutes නැහැ. ඒ කියන්නේ consumers ලට move වෙන්න බැරි. Substitutes තිබුණා නම් මොකද වෙන්නේ? Price එක increase වුණ ගමන් ඒක එයා move වෙනවා substitute. මේවට substitutes නැහැ. Only one product. Clear ද ළමයි? Right. Second one. Second one. Write down product B ළමයි. Price increases by 10%. Now ළමයි demand falls. Demand has a little response. Assume lamai quantity demanded falls by 3%. At first one lamai first product A, though price increases, quantity demand does not change at all. Here second one little, right? Can you calculate PED value lamai? 3% divided by 10%. How much? 3% divided by 10% minus 0.3. Less than 1 or more than 1? Less than 1. Then what is the category lamai? Inelastic. Then product B belongs to inelastic. Write down. Elastic. Elastic. Clear lamai? Right. Third one. Product C. Lamai price increases by 10%. Demand decreases by same percent. When price is increased by 10%, demand falls by 10%. Okay, the lamai. How much the value? PD value is minus 1. Yes. Exactly 1. Then what is the category lamai? Unitary. So product C belongs to unitary category. Write down lamai. The type of elasticity is unitary. Okay, the lamai. Next one, product D. Now you can guess. Okay. Here price increases by 10%. Now what happens lamai? Demand falls more than 10%, by 20%. Might be. Clear the lamai. Then how much the value? Kalana, 20% divided by 10%.
-2.
Minus 2. 2 means lamai more than 1 or less than 1. පුතා minus sign එක අමතක කරන්න. නැත්තම් කියන්න එපා sir -2 means less than 1 එහෙම කියන්න. Oh, -2. Forget the minus sign. Just consider the 2. Absolute value 2 mean more than 1. then product D belongs to elastic category. Product D has elastic. Last. Now my product E, price doesn't change. No change in price, but demand falls by 30%. Can you calculate PED value? Use your calculator, Lamai. I want every one of you to use your calculator now. 30% divided by 0. 30 over 0. What does it say? 0? Alana, how much the value? Sanuli?
Infinity.
Infinite. Can't divide or math error. Your calculator shows math error or can't divide. It means Lamai, the value is clear the Lamai. Okay, the Lamai. If you're using that scientific calculator, Lamai, it shows that answer is it shows that math error. Math error mean cannot be divided. Okay, the Lamai. So this product is called perfectly elastic. Perfectly elastic. Clear the balana Lamai? Perfectly elastic. Clear the Lamai? Perfectly. Huh? Kila hitue. Right. Okay. Okay, the Lamai. Right. Right, Lamai. We're going to discuss one by one. Put that. Okay. Bye. Right. Okay, Lamai. Take a small break, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Refresh yourself. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, Lamai. We're going to discuss one by one. There are 5 categories. You should have thorough knowledge on these 5 categories. Right. Is 2. Right. Perfectly inelastic demand. Look at the board, Lamai. Perfectly inelastic demand. Perfectly inelastic demand means simple idea. Though price increases or decreases, demand does not change. Right? Lamai? Perfectly inelastic. Inelastic. ඉන්නිලාස්ටික් පර්ෆෙක්ලි ඉන්නිලාස්ටික් අර පොඩ්ඩක්වත් ෆ්ලෙක්සිබල් නෑ අර සමහර මිනිස්සු දැකලා තියෙනවා අර සමහර තාත්තලා ඉන්නව නේද පාච්චිලා එහෙම අර යාළගේ ඩිසිෂන් එක කවදාවත් වෙනස් කරන්නේ නැහැ නේද ළමයි ගත්තොත් ගත්තම තමයි කිව්වොත් කිව්වම තමයි දැකලා තියෙනවා සමහර perfectly ඉන්නිලා not flexible at all this product is like this okay ළමයි quantity demand does not respond right okay ළමයි okay ළමයි perfectly inelastic අචි පොඩ්ඩක්වත් මේ අර ඩිසිෂන් චේන්ජ් කරන්න යත් එහෙම තමයි සමහර ප්‍රොඩක්ට්ස් ඉනවා ප්‍රයිස් එක මොනවා වුණත් තමයි යාට වැඩක් නැහැ ක්වොන්ටිටි okay ළමයි this is called perfectly in clear ළමයි right put a star mark and write down the definition write down ළමයි it's a situation in which quantity demanded quantity இப்ப I'll use quantity quantity demanded does not respond does not respond does not respond to a change in price to change price change price okay ළමයි no responsiveness at all clear right right Sudha, can you before moving to the points before moving to these 2 points can you draw a demand curve for this table ළමයි right next to the table can you draw a demand curve Kalana Dipna draw a demand curve this table is for the demand curve use this data and draw a demand curve then you will see a different demand side the type of demand curve different demand curve price quantity demand 0 price changes 10 by 10 10 20 30 හරිද quantity demand let's say 100 right at point A sorry price at price 10 demand is 100 at price 10 demand is 100 this is the point A at price 20 again demand is 100 no any responsive at price 30 demand is again 100 here this is your demand curve it has a different shape නේද ළමයි? දැන් මේකත් demand curve එකක් ළමයි. නේද? capital D, right? The demand curve. D. Clear ළමයි? Not the point D. Okay? It's demand curve. Okay ද ළමයි? Right. Remember ළමයි, this demand curve is parallel to price action. Okay ද ළමයි? Normally ළමයි, demand curve is said to be downward sloping curve. But here, it's parallel to price action. Clear ද ළමයි? Any doubt ළමයි? කලන දීප්නා?
No, sir.
No. Then
No,
ළමයි, yes, I want you to calculate price elasticity of demand for point A and C. Use this space. Calculate PED at point A, B, and C, and see how PED value behaves. Use second equation, delta QD over delta P over P into Q. Right? Point A, point A, point A, equation lamai, PED equals delta QD over delta P into P over Q. I'm going to calculate price elasticity of demand at point A. Now, change in demand, zero. Change in quantity demand is zero. Delta QD zero lamai. Kalana, change in price, 10. Change in price. Okay, the lamai. Right. Then lamai, here change in quantity demand is zero. Change in quantity demand is 0 divided by delta P, 10 into, I'm calculating price elasticity of demand at point A. At point A, price 10, demand is 100. Can you tell me the answer? 10. 0 into 10. How much? 10 නම් කියන්න එපා ළමයි 0. Divided by 10 into 100. 1000 නේ. ඔය මොන value එක තිබ්බත් වැඩක් නැහැ ළමයි. මේ denominator එක 0 නම් ළමයි answer එක. නේද ළමයි? Kalana, are you okay? Hipna?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Then calculate price elasticity of demand at point B. Price elasticity of demand at point B. Price elasticity of demand at point B. ME delta QD over delta Q over P. Right. Delta QD, delta P does not change now. Are the values? Here 0 into 10. So now price is 20. Price is 20. Demand is again how many units now? 100. Kalana, how much the answer? Dipna?
0, sir.
0. Again 0. Lamai. If you calculate PED value for point C, lamai, again answer would be how much lamai? 0. Okay, the lamai. So remember, in perfectly inelastic demand curve, at every point, PED value how much lamai? Remember forever. Dipna, are you okay? Kalana?
Okay, sir.
okay, sir.
Then write down lamai PED value at yes, point A, PED value how much lamai? 0. PED value, write down PED value at point A, PED value is point B lamai, PED value how much? Again it's right. At point C, 0, does not change. Lamai, in other demand curves, not like this. elastic, inelastic. It changes point to point PD value. Right. Then I read these 2 points. Now it's very clear. Read the column press points. Press point in
Perfectly elastic demand.
perfectly
Demand curve.
inelastic. Perfectly inelastic.
Elastic
Hmm.
demand curve is parallel to the vertical
Vertical axis.
axis.
Demand curve is parallel to vertical axis, or you can say to price axis. Clear the line. Second one, every point elasticity equals to clear the line. Right. Right. Second category. What is second category, Lamai? Inelastic. How to define inelastic demand? දැන් මෙයා පොඩ්ඩක් flexible. කියන්නේ price එක increase වෙනකොට මෙයා පොඩ්ඩක් decrease වෙනවා. හැබැයි ගොඩක් නෙමෙයි. පොඩ්ඩක්. අර සමහර අය ඉන්නේ ළමයි. පොඩ්ඩක් change කරනවා. තේරෙනවද? තාත්තලා හැම ළමයි. සමහරට අර 4-5 පාරක් කියනකොට අහන් ඉන්න බැරි හින්දා ඵලයන් කියනවා. ඒක තේරෙනවද? ඒ වගේ. අර first category එක totally inelastic. no change. සමහර husband ලත් ඉන්නවා. perfectly inelastic. එකක්වත් එයාගේ decision. second category එක පොඩ්ඩක් flexible. හරි. inelastic demand. Okay ද ළමයි? Right. Inelastic demand put a star mark and right. Is a situation where is a situation where okay the situation where percentage change in percentage percentage change in quantity demanded. I use QD, percentage change in quantity demanded. Okay, the lamai is less than percentage change in percentage change price percentage while other factors remain constant lamai. Okay, that part is there. Other factors, income, buyer's income, prices of other goods, all other factors are clear the lamai. Right. Within bracket write down lamai. QD shows a little response lamai. A little response to a changing my electricity gas over the ඉනිලා කියන්නේ දැන් electricity tariff එක එහෙම ළමයි කොච්චර දැන් 100% වලින් increase කරත් එහෙම demand එක ගොඩකින් decrease petrol එහෙමයි නේද ළමයි ඒ essentials ළමයි rice vegetables නේද ළමයි මොනවද gas ඔව් නේද ළමයි petrol gas ඒත් ටිකයි ළමයි නේද ළමයි right shows a little response to a change in clear the ළමයි right next one ළමයි the coefficient of price elasticity of demand is less than 1 right I want you to draw a demand curve lamai use a scale proper scale otherwise we'll have a totally different demand curve use proper scale right and here lamai calculate ped value I want you to calculate ped value at point A, B and C. You can mark price by 10 by 10 quantity. Ten by 10 or 20 by 20, right? Awalak nan? Nanti enggak dulu. Ipna, Kalana, are you okay? I drawing demand curve? Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, okay. D, demand by 20 by 20 lah, 20, 40, 80, and 100. Price 10 by 10. 10. Gap should be equal 10 by right now lamai at price 10. At price 10. How many units are being demanded? 100. This is second one. At price 20, demand 90. 90 means 80 and 100. Connect the then this is point B, then demand is 80. Wagi curve A, B, and C. How is it going? Demand curve. මෙහෙම shape එකක් නේද? Downward sloping the demand curve. Alana, Ipna,
Okay, sir.
Ipna.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Compare press demand curve and second one. What is the difference between these two curves? This lesson is so important for future lessons, right? Okay. Right. So study it very carefully. If you have any doubt, please let me know. Okay, the Lamai. Right. Listen. Lamai, perfectly inelastic demand. Perfectly inelastic demand. How is it going? Press one, perfectly inelastic, straight line. Parallel to price axis. හරිද? Second එක කොහොමද යන්නේ? Second එක අර perfectlyම නෑ පොඩ්ඩක් මෙන්න මෙහෙම shape එකක්. Clearද ළමයි? කලන දීප්නා no issue. Right. Calculate PD value. 1. Okay, right. Write down, calculate PD value. Sorry, PD equals point A. At point A, P delta QD over delta P over delta QD. How many units? Sorry, how much delta QD? NA divided by change in price. No, change in quantity demand 10, right? Yeah, change in price also 10. Into at price A, sorry, at point A, price also demand 100 units. How much the value? Minus 0.1. Alana, did you get the answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then point B, Dipna? Dipna, you got the same answer, did you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay, good. Point B. Calculate point B, PD at point B, Lama. PD equals delta QD over delta P over Q. My delta QD, delta P not change. 10 divided by 10 into, now price is 20, demand is 90 Lamai. How much PD value? Minus 0.22. You can see Lamai, at all points Lamai, PD value is less than 1. PD value is less than 1. Because this is inelastic category. Okay, the Lamai. At point A, PD value, how much Lamai? Minus 0.1. At point B, PD value, how much Lamai? Minus, sorry, 0.22. Look at the board, Lamai. Look at the board for a while. H. Then, Uda, can you see constant PD value at every point? No. PD value changes now. What about press category? Doesn't change. 0 at every point. Here, it changes to point. 0.1, 0.2. Clear the Lamai? Understand the difference. Dipna, Kalana, any doubt? Uda, write this down. At point A, PD value 0.1, point B 0.22. Okay, the Lamai. Then you can see the PD value changes point to point in this category. Plus category doesn't change. Okay, the Lamai. And what happens when moving along this demand curve along this demand curve upward, Lamai. You get the point. What happens to PED value? 0.1, 0.22, next one, 0.3, 0.337. But still it's less than 1. Clear the Lamai? Yes. Kalana, Dipna, any doubt?
No doubt,
No,
sir.
sir.
No doubt. Okay. Then what are Lamai? Remember, there are 5 categories of price elasticity of demand. There are how many categories? 5 categories. This categorization done based on P coefficient. Okay, the Lamai. What are the 5 categories? Perfectly inelastic, unitary, elastic, perfectly elastic. Now we have already discussed how many categories, Lamai? Category. First one, perfectly inelastic. Second one, perfectly inelastic demand mean Lamai? Though price changes, quantity demand remains same. Does not change. Or constant, or we can say, I mean, it does not respond to price change. Second one, changes. How does it change? That percentage change in quantity demand is less than percentage change in price. When price increases, quantity demand falls, but by little percentage. You get the point? Okay, that's enough today, Lamai. See you on next day, 9 o'clock. Okay. Right. Okay, Kalana, Deepna, see you on next day. Bye. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Goodbye.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Have a nice day. Bye කියලා ගොඩ වෙලාවක් යනවා.